Street, and then also Camille Lane. And they've taken a photograph of where they've put up signs where they have done overlays on some of the other streets in the city. And I do know that they have been told for many years that next year. So they would like to, there's 15 citizens, and Randy's not here, but I guess this will go to street department and try to find out where they are on the list.
I've had requested the list, from Randy,
Okay.
and that's what I was gonna ask him out, but again, he's not here. I would like the council to, or the committee, or council, whomever, but we have about $800, almost $900,000 transportation tax. $50,000 a month is going into that tax balance. I like to speed up the process of overlaying the gravels, like what you're talking about, based off of vehicle count. And I'm sure that's ranks up there in the top 5 on the gravel roads.
Well, it does, especially being a quarter. Which
Exactly.
we really, some of us didn't realize that.
But I definitely would like the street committee to look at that and get a bid. And if it's possible, get it done this year, if it's possible.
Pass that down, I guess,
No
to
time
Nick.
frame is usually a problem.
You're temporary, well,
Or you want to start
When
off
you give it to
there
Noble?
she's talking about?
I would like to. I've always thought Jackson Street was that.
No, I mean, I agree, I've had complaints about it before.
we have a gentleman, I believe, that would like,
Yes, sir.
I live on 15 on 3 South Jackson.
Would you care to come up, Peter, and I'm sorry.
I live on
We've gotta be
15,
a little bit.
15 on 3
here.
South Jackson. I've lived there about 20 years,
Yes, sir.
and we got the worst road in town. They come out a few weeks ago and put some clay on it. There's no gravel, it's clay. And you can't raise a winter. You can't air your house out. Sit in the front yard, cars go by, you got 20 foot of dust flowing in your, and I got about an acre yard, so I ain't got a little tiny yard.
Yes, sir.
And it's the worst street in town.
And you live here in town.
And, I was told when I bought the house, I was told when I bought the house that, Center 21 said they've got to pave the streets and everything, but it's never happened. And,
Well,
the front end of your car gets tore out all the time. It's bad.
until
Got
this
a nice home.
until this transportation tax was passed, though, all, like Pickens Drive itself, the owners put that street in.
I realize that. We was one of the ones got the petition up for that.
Yeah.
And they got the paved street and we didn't.
Well,
And we didn't get the sewer or the water.
but apparently those people on Jackson were not willing to put up the money.
The thing is, the city took it in, and the biggest part of down through there is in the country. But I'm stuck in the city with the road.
No, I understand
And
where
the
you're at.
city parks down there, I get all that traffic there and the dust and the dirt and everything. And, behind the cemetery back there, all that's country. Sonny Riding storage building there, used to be Greer's, that's country. House trailer beside of him it's terrible.
And I don't wanna upset you anymore. What I'm leading to is that with the approval of the transportation tax, we now have more money to work with to get done what you need done.
Well, I just wonder if y'all was gonna blacktop it or anything, cause you re-blacktop roads, it's already been blacktop, but here I live on the worst road in town. And if you ever go down it, you'll agree with me.
Well, I know, I've been down.
Well, sir, I'll tell you this much. My personal goal is to get all this gravel here in town paved. It saves the city, it saves the property owners, it increases the value of the property in town. I think it's all around good.
Save
just
the
got
road
it.
grader too.
Yes, sir. But we don't, obviously, you know this, we can't pave every single mile in 1 year. But we're gonna try to get our darndest to get what we
Sue
can.
Lance lives across the street from me, and ever since I've lived there, they grade the road, grade the road, grade the road. She can't use her driveway. Her concrete drive is this far from the road. The road is a riverbed, more or less.
Well,
So,
the information's over to the street committee. I know I'm all for it, I believe the majority of the council, if not all of the council, is gonna be for it, so
Right.
Yeah.
we'll see where we go.
All right.
Hold us to the fire.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Finance committee, did you have anything?
Yes, but I don't have the number. Do you have for the amendment? We were gonna amend
Oh,
by the amount of the, was it 88,000? It was
I don't know.
84,000? Okay. Cause I was thinking, oh, I don't have that, but, the finance committee, we would like to amend the budget to include the income from the housing authority in the amount of, pardon me,
Expenses.
expenses. Okay,
Budgeted expenses.
around 84,000.
Right.
It takes us all.
So the motion on the floor is to amend the police department's budget by $84,000 to reflect the expenses of the housing authority. Correct?
Yes.
Sounds pretty good then.
Second.
Second, discussion. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
Did we get that money from, finally? 150 or 1,000 or whatever they were in arrears?
We got a chunk of
We're
it.
working on it.
Okay.
That will wrap up all the committee
Excuse me, Mr.
reports.
Mayor,
Yes,
I would
sir.
like to make one comment for the benefit of those that wasn't at our last meeting. I think a lot of you were, but the first 2 months, the city operated under budget. There were a couple of departments that were over, but the other departments were substantially under budget, so you total it all up, July and August, the city operated under budget.
Let it go. Department head, even though you're not here.
All right. Anything else for the committee reports? Department reports. You have anything brief to?
I got two things, one on the police side, and on the fire. I talked to, Ms. Aqua, the committee chair, this morning, and I meant to get this out to you, but, working on some of this other stuff in the grant. We had a vacancy within the fire department where one of the full-time persons had, left and went to a different job. And it's created a vacancy where right now we're locked up and can't get any type of vacation or time off because we're with that one person that frees up the floater who does all the time off and vacations and stuff like that. We had 2 applications, one's withdrawn their application, and we was left with one individual, part-time firefighter, city of Kennett, for past 27 years. He has qualifications to meet the job, has worked part-time, covered full-time at different points. It's Dennis Hamlet, lieutenant. I'm asking to hire him full-time at $10 base rate per hour. And this would be that he pass a drug test and physical.
Now, just to be clear, $10 base rate, you're talking about, fire department has
Well,
4 series of pay rates.
this is for 40 hours. Basically, the first 40 of each week is at $10 an hour. And it goes up, which they work, actually, it's kind of difficult to say, they work an average of 56 hours per week. Yes, it goes to the time and a half rate, and anything over the 212, it goes to a little bit higher rate. That was established back when the legislature, state of Missouri, thought we was gonna have to go to a 40-hour work week because they didn't pass the federal law into their legislation, and it took almost a year before they amended it. So we're still at that 40-hour work week cycle.
So, for the public concern, it's not a $10 an hour position necessarily.
Yeah, it's a lower rate, but after they get past that, it makes up for it no matter what.
Okay,
But let me ask you this, though. If for whatever reason they only worked 40 hours in that pay period, then they would only get the $10 rate? They wouldn't get
Yes,
the
but-
extended rate?
But that would only be like a shift and a half. So generally, they're working 3 shifts on average a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it's scheduled. It's scheduled, the way it's scheduled is, if they take off, they either gotta use accrued time, vacation, or sick leave. So there wouldn't be any reason why they wouldn't work unless they chose to give up the pay.
So when they're on duty, it's a 24-hour shift.
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. I knew that, but.
Is there a motion to approve this hire?
Motion.
Is there a second? We have a second. Discussion? Do you have anything? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay. In addition to that, we tested 4 individuals to position of part-time. We're down way, pretty much on that. It was a James Tillman, a Matthew Hamlet, a Christopher Jenkins, who was a past firefighter, he moved away, he's moved back to Kennett, and Tyler Looney. I would recommend that they be hired at a rate of, it's $10 per call. Chris Jenkins, with him having his certification, basically we would look at the pay rate that there's different levels to encourage them to get their certification. So it's gonna fit within some of the people that have gotten off in the past. And this would be based upon them also drug test as well.
Is there a motion for part-time hires?
So moved.
Second? Second. All right, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, over to the police side. Good news first, which all of it's good news, I don't have any bad here. Shouldn't have put it that way. You know, we've had these recent break-ins in vehicles and stuff. Well, part of it, the officers are credited with doing some good work, and we had an incident where a car was broken into, purse was taken, individual used the credit card several times, and then, as I understand it, when the mistake was made, he was signing her name, but apparently he fell outside the store, claimed he did, and went back in and told the manager, and the manager took his name and address and his whole location. So when this come about, 2 and 2 together, it was real easy to find out who it was. So upon further investigation and identification, they were able to get a search warrant of the suspect's residence. They did the search, they located the victim's property and the credit card. There's a few miscellaneous items missing, but they've probably been thrown away or pawned off, and they were able to recover some of the stolen stuff that was purchased. So it's kudos to the officers for the good work developing the case, following up on it. And I'm not going to mention her name here in open meeting, but these were not what you would think typical teenage or young people out prowling. You're talking about a 37-year-old white male and 24-year-old white female. So, you know, you'd think that people by that age in life have learned a little bit and are out working, but that isn't being the case. So that's just one step in solving some of the stuff that's went on. I'm asking all citizens, if you think that your car or your house has been entered, you need to make a report on it so that we can document where it's happening in the neighborhoods throughout the city and get a better handle on it. We're also asking that the first line of defense is to lock it and pocket the key and secure your vehicle as well as your home. That's the first line of defense. If that's the first line, they have to force it, and it gives you a little bit better clue that they had to work to get in your car. Also, items such as if you have a conceal and carry and you're carrying a weapon, don't leave your weapon in your car. Don't leave large amount of cash in your car. Those are 2 things that we've come across. So that's a public service announcement on behalf of the police department. They've been working on it. They did get a letter of thanks back from the individual whose vehicle was gotten into. Now onto the business. We've been short 1 dispatcher full-time in the police department. They interviewed 4 applications. And the top candidate was a Carol Ann Bradshaw. Lives in Holcomb. And she applied for the position full-time as a dispatcher. We're asking to hire her at $10.50 per hour. And that is to replace one individual who has left the department and went on to another job.
Is there a motion to approve this hire?
Motion.
Second. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passes.
In addition to that, with interviewing the 4 candidates, there was another candidate who stood out that we would like to hire part-time. That's 29 hours or less a week, fill any vacancies that might come up through illness. And that would be at $10 an hour. And that's a, Michael Dodd. Is that it? Is that Michael Dodd? He's from Crothersville.
Is there a motion to approve the hire?
Motion.
Is there a second? We have a second. Any discussion? All.
Most of our part-time dispatchers start out at $9.50 an hour.
Is it 950? Okay.
I'm sorry, that's what
No,
we're paying.
we were thinking 10. Okay, so we're amended back to 950.
Motion is to hire a part-time position at $9.50. Any more discussion? All in favor, all in favor say aye. You're going too smooth,
I have a question, a request here.
For,
Are you done with the council?
no, sir, I'm not. We'll have a public comment here
I'll
shortly.
wait till you open it up.
Yes, sir. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, one last thing. Some time ago, we advertised for full-time police officer or any part-time that can fill any vacation voids or whatever. There's 3 individuals that are about to graduate 18th of October from the Law Enforcement Academy. And we would like to be able to try as quickly as possible, to be able to put them on part-time before someone else grabs them up. It is Christopher Hill here in Kennett, Zachary Bowles in Kennett,
Landon Stewart's the first.
and of course Landon Stewart, who is currently a dispatcher with the city.
Is there a motion to approve to hire these 3 part-time officers? Motion?
Motion.
Motion.
One of them, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
They're part-time. They fill in the gaps.
It's 29 hours a week is the limit that they can work.
We do have a motion.
Second.
We have a second.
Thank
We
you.
have discussion.
My only one.
Background checks and
Yes,
everything on them,
yes.
they've been through this, they've been through
Yes.
the process and.
And even them being in the academy does an extensive background check before they can go to the academy. Is that right, John? Because they don't want somebody getting into the mix that's a bad apple.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
One last thing, there was a DWI checkpoint Saturday night. 725 cars were checked. It was I don't want to say conglomerate, it was a coordinated effort with Cape PD officers, Jackson PD, Dexter PD, Crowsville and Haytide, as well as Kennett. There were 2 DWI arrests. There was 10 driving while revoked, 14 no operators or valid license, 10 seatbelt violations, 2 child restraint violations, 14 no valid insurance on a vehicle, 6 failed to register a motor vehicle. There was a total of 58 citations. There were 7 felony warrant arrests, 1 drug arrest during that checkpoint. We've also been renewed next fiscal year for speed enforcement at $3,500, sobriety checkpoint at $8,400, and the DWI enforcement at $10,500.
When's that going, Chief?
These are already been approved, haven't they?
Yeah, that's our money starts October
So we can
October
do another one just anytime.
Yeah, they will meet and set up a schedule. The police officers usually meet, and they'll put one in different cities and set up a schedule. We've had 2 here that I know of. So we've gotten, some of them just had 1, so. Captain Joe Stewart kind of coordinates that, along with a few of the other officers, and does a good job at it.
Good job,
It
busy
worked,
man.
it worked. Pretty good ratio there of crimes to cars, so.
It makes you, it really opens it up when you see how many people don't have insurance, no driver's license. And you have to realize if you're the victim of an accident, with one of those individuals, you are gonna pay, your insurance is gonna pay the price on that. And then, you know, so, and also 7 felony warrants. You know, that's a jackpot in itself. A lot of times you're hunting these people down because they're hiding from you. So.
All that was here.
Yes, all of it happened out east of Kennett through the checkpoint.
That's the big last thing. Are they gonna have checkpoints tonight? So I saw they hooked up with the trailer. I said, I don't know, take your chances.
Right on, you can go.
All right, that's all the part reports. Now it's time for public participation.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good.
My name is Ken Parks, and I bought a house over on 201 South Vanderbilt, and it's a fixer-upper, and it's lived up to its name. And I've been working on it, and in the back of my property, you know, the city drain that goes from the courthouse, it comes down there, and there's a manhole in the back of my property, and it floods, and it shoots up like a fountain, and it flooded my house, I just built a new shed, underneath my house and several other yards. It got close to the firehouse, and I talked to Randy, and he told me to come here, so all I'm gonna do is submit a written request to see if he could, the first time, he was out with that big machine that looked like a vacuum cleaner on his trash truck.
Barney.
Yeah, Barney. He was there, and he told me that that drain was built in 1930. And all I request is they can come to my yard and maybe put that thing in and flush it out, because it's flooding everybody's properties. And it flooded up close to the firehouse there, and it just helped everybody's property and things like that. So I have some written, I just like to submit these, do I give them?
Well, is there any reason why he asked you to come here? I mean, that's pretty
Well,
much standard.
Well, I talked to him, I showed it to him, and I think one time, whenever I was building my shed, I think Victor, you remember seeing that? And what happens when it rains real hard, it floods everybody's property. All I request is for him to take the Barney, and see if he can flush out, see what he can do. If not, I got maybe build around my house or my shed, because I just built a big shed, a brand new shed.
So he did not clean her out?
No, he didn't, and I talked to him, that was in the spring, and I called him last week, and he said that he'd try to get to it as soon as possible, but he told me to come in here and maybe make a request for it. So,
He's working on this, Jake. He sent me an email about this. He's waiting for the water to get down so he can run a camera in there. He's afraid as far as that drain may have collapsed because it's so old.
right. What it is
may
like-
be pretty extensive.
right there on the corner, or across Mr. Baybox, it's real deep. But back in that manhole in my yard, it's like maybe not even 2 feet. So the pipe narrows, and somebody told me maybe that was the edge of the city back in the 30s or something like that.
He's afraid there may be some structural issues in there. Maybe just more than just, take Barney in there. Maybe a lot more work.
Whatever can be done, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's all I ask.
That actually is, if you went back and looked at all the old topographical maps, the slough starts up there above Baker Addition and weaves its way down through and comes down through in that area and ends up over there on, where we replaced part of the pipe down at the corner of
But he's
Case
welcome to
Station.
get on my property and get to it, whatever he needs to do. That's all I request.
Thank you, sir.
That's
We'll
a
get
good-
his address. Thank you.
Thanks.
What was your address again?
201 South Vanderbilt. You want one of these?
Okay.
Right behind the firehouse.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you coming up tonight.
Appreciate it.
Well, I see there's no one else out here who wants to speak to council, so, before I adjourn, we do have an open meeting following here. We'll
I
have
think I
about,
got one more thing, just a quick
Yes,
question. On Fifth Street, the alley that they can ask to vacate for the Gore, for Jerry Gore, and where are we at on that? I talked to him the other day, and he hadn't heard anything, I just kinda want to know.
I don't know, I don't think that, we haven't had a meeting about it yet. I don't think the meeting's been scheduled as far as,
planning.
planning is on.
Isn't that alley partially blocked right now already?
It's because of weeds and stuff, it's got a block, and he wanted to clean it up and extend his fence out there, but the city has to vacate the property, never do it.
Well, I think later, or, so they're building some new apartments down there.
I was gonna ask next question.
And they're gonna want, they had came to me about maybe vacating it down that far, so, I
Yeah.
don't know.
The people building apartments contacted me and asked about getting the alley to there.
Yeah, it's all the same alley. And you can't use it now anyway, but I don't know if there's any utilities in it.
Let's get a meeting plan with Planning and Zoning Commission. I guess that's the next appropriate step.
Have they made a formal request to vacate?
We
Has
did
anybody
that,
made a
a
request?
couple of council meetings ago, we talked about it and made a motion to do that, and
It has to be
You
requested.
probably need to make a request, a written request, the landowner needs to make a written request to vacate.
I brought it to the council.
Oh, okay.
He did make a written request to me, and I brought it up to the council, I didn't know I was supposed to pass that on, the written part.
It just needs to be referred to planning.
Okay.
I think you have.
He's already got.
I had it.
Oh, I don't have that.
No, I had that, I didn't give it to you.
So I can
I was
schedule
about to
their
find
meeting.
it. That may be my
I'm
fault.
sorry.
Well, the gentleman that contacted me about the alley behind the apartments that he's building, you need a request for that as well.
If you want to vacate it, might as well.
Okay.
We did all of them, or is it?
All right, anything else? Again, we're gonna have a short meeting immediately following this, about a 5-minute break in between. We're gonna discuss some property maintenance issues at the code enforcement. It's nothing that we're gonna decide and vote on this evening. It's just we're gonna come up with a strategy, bring it to the next council meeting 3 weeks from tonight. If there's any solution we come up with, and hopefully get it through. All right, meeting adjourned. And I welcome any